Yan, so alam ko naman na galing tayo sa National Leaders Assembly, ako din. So, tapos kahapon galing tayo sa Star Bright Shares. And last week, nagsama-sama lang tayo sa Activation 101 na ako rin ang speaker for One Manila. Pero still, nandito kayo ngayon because you're committed to your growth. Yan, so if ever man na hindi nyo ako marinig kasi medyo challenge ang internet connection, patulong ako to unmute yourself or type. Baka mamaya mag-monologue na kasi ako dito. Yan, so I will start sharing my slides. Yan, so maraming salamat. Yan. Yan, so few days ago, so Kuya sent me a message and requesting if I want to be the speaker who will add value to all of you. So dito pa lang sa team na to, grabe, ang dami-dami ng mga lodis dito eh. So yung mga MDRTs and also yung mga premier leader. Pero I'm just here to share with you what's working for us that can also work for you. And yung na gustuhan nila or siguro suggested nila na gusto nilang i-share ko is yung topic about activation through virtual engagement. Yan. To share a little background about myself, so I'm Christine Dimaliuat. I started doing business with the help of Kuya noong 2007. So nag-start muna ako ng loading business na na-captured natin yung mga yung mga kaklase. So first year ako noon. First year, first sem. Yan. So after several years, 5 years sa college, nakagraduate na tayo. Buti naman, nakagapang, nakagraduate on time noong March 2012 as an industrial engineer. And then a year after, so nayaya ako ni Kuya to become a financial advisor dito sa Philam Life for the reason lang na since matagal yung income sa real estate, so pumayag na rin ako na sumama dito nung pagkapasa ko as a real estate broker, nung nag-broker's exam ng March 2013. And after mga several years na pinagdaanan natin dito sa Philam Life, so nakwento na naman ni Kuya yon na walang kami ng agency, pero we chose to stay here and transfer sa other agency which is Star Bright. At nang dahil doon nakatulong sa akin to formally or to finally to do yung gusto kong ginagawa, which is leading a team. So na-promote ako nung September 27 as AUM and UM nung October 2018. So next month, grabe, 2 years na. So katulad nyo, katulad ko rin, is hindi naman natin inaasahan na magkakaroon ng COVID, di ba, this year. So we didn't see this coming kasi nga kung ready nga tayo dito, di sana nakapag-prepare. So dito nga nasabi na just like what DM Nilo shared before nung in-invite nila ako, is yung last year daw, di ba kala Cebu Matunog, and then sila Sir Toto, Miss Mayen, dati daw, yung focus lang or topic lang nila is about yung being ready for the future. But pagpasok nung time na to, nagkaroon ng COVID, hindi nila alam na ang future na pala is 2020. Yun. So immediately, the third week or second week of March, where we were asked to just stay at home and close those businesses. So katulad nyo din, hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin. Hindi ako nanood masyado ng mga Korean novela, hindi yun yung hilig ko, nanay lang namin. Pero gusto ko lang mag-browse ng internet at nangyari yun for the next 6 weeks, di ba? So natulala. So parang hindi alam kung ano yung gagawin, nasira lahat yung mga schedules na lalabas pa tayo. So even ako, hindi ko alam kung paano siya gagawin, pero mas ang iniisip ko, possible kayo rin, is paano ba natin matutulungan yung mga team members natin na magpatuloy na kahit na ganito yung nangyayari. Yan. So with the help of yung mga leaders natin na umpisa, is nag-decide kami na ipatawag na yung team at gawin na natin ito. And after 6 weeks, ito yung aming first ever meeting, di ba? Sa tagal-tagal natin na pagka stay at home at ayaw, hindi alam kung ano yung gagawin. So noong first week ng May, pinatawag yun lahat para mag-awarding ng March tsaka April na mga performers. Yan. So piniem ko pa isa-isa para yayain na attend tayo at what time tayo po pwede. Kasi most of my team members working talaga, even before COVID. Yan. So yun naman yung nakatulong sa akin na dahil 4 lang kami na full-time, mas less na yung problema ko in terms of paano kaya yung earning nung iba. Kaya ang mas inuna kong PEPM yung mga full-timers. Kasi yung paano nila isusustain, lalo na kung breadwinner sila. Yun. Kasi nga, according sa nabasa ko, is engaged members are 21% more productive than their less engaged counterparts. So yun yung reason kung bakit pinofocus ni Philam Life, yung activity ratio din, and all of us sa ating mga teams. And aside from that, engaged members are engaged not because they are productive or easy to work with, but because they feel their work matters. So even top performers, possible ma-offera ng ibang tao o kaya naman mayaya ng iba na sumama ng other company kapag hindi na nila na-feel na nag-valuable sila dito. Or kung feeling nila yung suggestion nila hindi naririnig ng other people or ng leader niya. However, may disclaimer ako. Yan. So, di ba ang title natin, Activation Through Virtual Engagement. Yun, I will just tell you immediately, sa una kong slides is, hindi yun yung isi-share ko. Kasi yung virtual engagement, this is just yun yung nangyayari lang today dahil lang may pandemic. So what if, now normal na talaga. So pwede na tayong lumabas. Di ba usually pandemic daw ang average pag after 2 years, pwede na talaga lahat. So paano tayo magko-cope up dun sa future? So i-fast forward na natin. Kaya in a moment, may papakita ako sa inyo na video. Kasi sa dulo naman, ipapakita ko na yung mga how-tos eh. Pero sabi nga ni Brian Clemmer, if the how-tos were enough, we'd all be rich, skinny, and happy. Kaya ipapakita ko sa inyo na hearing yung mga shinare ko, di ba, dyan sa Baguio, sa Cebu, tapos sa Metro Manila leaders, nandito pa rin naman to sa dulo eh. Pero bakit ganito yung culture namin? And bakit kailangan natin mag-transform maliban sa title ng FB group natin is AIA Next Gen Leaders is because gusto nating matransform ang culture ng Philam Life. The culture of our organization. Kaya I want to share with you this video, 9-minute video. So please take note na lang lahat ng mga gusto nyong learning at makikita nyo dito. Ang tawag dito, Reinventing Organization.
Book called Reinventing Organizations, author Frédéric Laloux recounts the evolving history of how people have worked together in large organizations and how new perspectives or paradigms have emerged over the centuries that unlocked new levels of prosperity as they became the predominant approach. In this video, we'll take a look at these paradigms, then examine how they can inform our thinking about adopting agile or lean approaches. Each new paradigm is described by its own color, has some unique characteristics, and some breakthrough ideas. And we'll look at some examples of organizations operating under each paradigm today. We will start with the oldest paradigm, described by the color red. The guiding metaphor for red is that of the wolf pack. Red emerged as people organized into tribes and was the predominant paradigm for centuries. The defining characteristics of red include a powerful leader who inspires fear in the group's enemies and compliance within the group. Red is most useful in situations of chaos, where the powerful leader may be the only thing guaranteeing the survival of the group. The breakthrough ideas of red are command authority, where a leader can set a direction and people will follow, allowing them to work towards a common goal, and division of labor, where people can specialize in a specific type of work that benefits the overall group. Examples of organizations functioning under the red paradigm today include the mafia, street gangs, and tribal militias. Red organizations are limited by the short-term perspective required to survive chaos. The next level, amber, evolved when the instability of fear-based power structures could not accomplish longer-term success. The guiding metaphor for amber organizations is that of an army. Amber emerged as hierarchical patterns like those invented by the Roman military under Julius Caesar, and those used by the Catholic Church, enabled focusing on long-term goals which are only possible under stable leadership, being based on status, not physical prowess. The primary characteristic of amber organizations is their strict hierarchical structure, leading to stability and exerting strong control over the lower levels in the hierarchy. The breakthrough ideas in an amber organization are taking a long-term perspective, instituting strong processes, and creating formal roles for various levels within the hierarchy. Examples of current organizations that have an amber perspective are most public schools in the United States, most governments, and traditional churches. Amber organizations begin to hit their limits when conditions change that require new approaches. The next level, orange, evolved when entrenched amber organizations were unable to adapt to changing conditions. The guiding metaphor for orange is that of a machine. Orange emerged in the age of reason, along with the American and French revolutions, where individual meritocracy meant that the best ideas had a chance of competing regardless of an individual's status. The primary characteristics of orange organizations include competition within the organization and with other organizations, a focus on financial profit and growth, and a switch to objectives-based management, where leaders set the strategy and lower levels within the hierarchy are given some freedom in how to carry out the strategy. The breakthrough ideas in an orange organization are innovation, accountability for reaching the objectives laid out by management, and meritocracy, where individuals can rise within the organization based on their skill, intelligence, and creativity. Orange is the predominant perspective in the world today, and nearly all large corporations function from an orange perspective, as well as many public universities. Orange begins to hit its limits when people feel that the profit motive is not fulfilling enough, often becoming disengaged with the organization's view of them as cogs in a machine. A 2013 Gallup poll showed that only 30% of U.S. workers were engaged at work, a strong signal of the limits of an orange perspective. The next level, green, has emerged as people have sought more meaning in their work. The guiding metaphor for green is that of the family. The primary characteristics of green organizations are a focus on delighting customers, making decisions based on a set of shared values, and high engagement from everyone in the organization. The breakthrough ideas are balancing the needs of all stakeholders, including customers, employees, partners, and shareholders for publicly held companies, a focus on culture over strategy, and true empowerment of members in the organization regardless of their hierarchical level. Examples of organizations that have a green perspective are Southwest Airlines and Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. The Agile and Lean movements also emerge from companies with this perspective. Green begins to hit its limits when consensus building results in overly slow decision-making, and the hierarchical structures still existent in green begin to conflict with people's desires to have greater autonomy. The next level, teal, is emerging as organizations have discovered how to work effectively without hierarchical structures. The guiding metaphor for teal is that of a living system. The primary characteristics of a teal organization are what are known as anti-fragile organizational structures, either flat or based on interlocking circles of evolving roles, aligning around an evolutionary purpose, some shared goal of making the world a better place, and by distributing decision-making authority to all members of the organization using something called the advice process, where any colleague can make any decision in the organization so long as they have sought the advice of anyone that decision might impact. This differs from consensus in that not all advice must be heeded, just considered. The breakthrough ideas in teal are wholeness, where people can bring their whole selves to work, their spiritual side, their intellectual side, and their creative side, and feel safe that they will not be judged for being themselves. Self-management is another breakthrough idea. In most teal organizations, there are no managers. And an evolutionary purpose, meaning that the purpose is not owned by any one person, but evolves as new people join the organization and as the organization learns more about how it can make the biggest difference in the world. Examples of teal organizations include Patagonia, the outdoor clothing company, Morningstar, a tomato processing plant responsible for 40% of the tomato products in the United States, and Buurtzorg, a 7,000-person home care nursing organization. Agile and Lean are firmly rooted in green, and most of the struggles we see with adoption are in organizations whose leadership have a dominant orange perspective. To someone with an orange perspective, Agile and Lean are seen as simply process improvements to increase productivity, efficiency, or profits. But without adopting the cultural perspectives of green, only those practices that align with orange are adopted, and they are overlaid against orange approaches like top-down management, or valuing profit against any other outcome. Agile thrives in organizations with a predominantly green perspective, and Agile practices become almost overkill in a teal organization, which have evolved their own practices that include Agile values, but where many Agile practices are no longer required, for example, a single product owner. If you are currently part of an orange organization and are looking for ways to make it work better, Search out others with a green perspective, especially those in leadership positions, and work with them to help drive the cultural change required to make Agile work as it was designed. Lalo's research indicates that only the top leader in an organization can successfully transform it vertically, for example, from orange to green. However, horizontal transformation is possible, for example, working within the boundaries of orange to make it a more vibrant place of innovation and objectives-based management, instead of a stressful, lifeless place of micromanagement. One important concept is that one color is not necessarily better than any other. There are valuable ideas in every perspective. There is data that shows that the newer perspectives are better able to deal effectively with increasing levels of complexity and interconnectedness. But that does not mean that every situation requires this, or that only green and teal organizations can be successful. Success is defined differently from each perspective. Also, the newer perspectives include the older ones, like a Russian nesting doll, so someone with a teal perspective can and should continue to use orange or amber ideas when they might best meet the needs of the organization. I hope this overview was helpful, and that it gave you some insight into the culture of your organization. Viewing Agile and Lean within this broader cultural context can help us make sense of why some organizations might struggle to fully adopt them, and give us some ideas of how to focus on culture as a key element in any change.
Yan. So, take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. So the reason why pinakita ko sa inyo yung video na to is for us to be able to continuously work hard in our teams so that we can be able to help Philam Life transform. So, kasi nakakalungkot, hindi lang naman Philam Life, hindi lang naman dito sa Philippines, kundi sa buong mundo, most of the organization and businesses are operating in the orange organization. Which is, yung di ba kaya napapagod most of the employees, maliban syempre yung mga Google, Facebook, gano'n, mas advanced sila, is they treat people, they treat their employees or people as machines. So kaya yung other people, umaalis patalon-talon ng job, hindi tumatagal ng mas matagal. So yun. So lumalabas na yung mga bala, yung bala ng aming team, kasi yung susunod naman na mapapakita nyo dito, ay makikita, is na nakita na naman sa Cebu, sa Baguio, tsaka sa Metro Manila. So pinakita ko lang sa inyo na kung saan nanggaling, bakit gano'n ang culture namin. Kasi virtual engagement or engagement per se is just yung the icing on the cake. So sa ibabaw lang siya, pero ano ba yung kalalim-laliman? So what's behind the external culture na nakikita nyong lahat, kundi itong mga isi-share ko na ito. At yun yung nanggaling sa ganon sa Reinventing Organization na kami ni Ruthie natutunan namin last year, na binago na namin yung team namin gearing towards that. And kaya yung logo namin, color teal. Yan. So this is just a review for other people na nakakita na. So si Sir Emma, ni-request niya pa daw ako nakita mag-talk. Yan. So nag-work sa team namin is inspiring the team with our MTP. MTP, hindi ng Philam Life, kundi ang meaning lang nito is Massive Transformative Purpose, which is the highly aspirational tagline for the organization. For your unit, bigger than yourself, bigger than your team, bigger than your company. Yung kasing laki ng mundo, ng universe. Para hindi natin masasabi na we arrived. Continuously, we will aspire for growth. Hindi tayo mamamroblema kung nagkaroon na naman ng distraction or disruption sa mga businesses, katulad ng pagpasok ngayon ng Gen Z and ng technology and globalization. Yan. So, you can start searching na sa internet, parang kanina pinakita ng Teal Organization. So, parang this is new for us. Ganon din sa amin nung napakinggan namin siya last year. Pero kung tutuusin, parang mga 2004 or 2008, nag-e-exist na siya pag lumabas tayo sa Philippines. So pag pumunta tayo ng ibang bansa, yung mga other companies in the Europe, tapos US, may nangyayari ng ganon. And just like these companies, two of them, si TED, tsaka si Google, ang kanilang massive transformative purpose is ideas worth sharing, and kay Google, organize the world's information. So kaya continuously, for example, si TED, nagre-record ng mga videos, ng mga short videos, ina-upload sa YouTube so that they can be able to spread a message of hope and inspiration, and also to give free learning to all of us through technology. Tapos si Google, 'di ba sila na ngayon nag-dominate sa ating dun sa World Wide Web in terms of search engine. Kasi nga, yan yung pinaka-vision na inaano nila lahat. Yung ma-organize lahat yung world's information na isang na konting milliseconds ba yan? Ano makikita na natin or yung mga hinahanap natin. So yung Tesla, accelerate the transition to sustainable transportation, and X-Prize, radical breakthrough for the benefit of humanity. So marami pa kayo makikita. Tanungin lang natin si friend natin na si Google. So for our team, starting last year, ang aming MTP is for the world to embrace a happy, healthy, and wealthy way of life. I want to see every one of us sa team na na masaya, na healthy yan through Philam Vitality. Tapos yung eventually maging result, which is yung yung financial rewards. So kung makikita nyo diyan, ginawa namin yan ng be do have. Yung kapag naging happy tayo, we can be able to do yung mga things na kailangan nating gawin to take care of ourselves, and then money is just a result. Those achievements, MDRT, and titles are just a result of embracing those values na meron tayo. Yun. So, yun yung MTP. So, para mas marami, doon na lang sa internet. And then also, creating a meeting structure. So, kung ano man yung mga share ko dito, kung paano ma-engage yung team, is ginagawa na rin namin to sa labas. So, at least kapag natapos na tong virtual world in terms of pandemic, magagawa natin tong mga share ko virtually and also sa classroom. So using yung meeting structure, may inedit ako dito. So para sa mga iba, yan. So 'di ba yung setup? So explain ko kanina, 'di ba si Kuya, sabi niya, mga 125 or 120 naka-open na yung Zoom. Tapos care of Miss Vance, Big Sis, may collateral. So yun yung nangyayari behind the scene na pag na-prepare natin, it will dictate kung magiging successful or unsuccessful ang isang event. Kasi 50% of the work is already done, and it shows a lot of respect for people na a-attend. So, lahat nung yung pag-ayos ng audio, ng video before mag-start, before tayo pumasok, is dun lahat ng work na ginagawa. So ngayong virtual world, so siguro kahit at least 30 minutes bago mag-open, doors open or Zoom meeting room open, sana nandito na tayo sa harap ng ng session, kahit na hindi mo pa pinapapasok lahat ng mga attendees kasi may waiting room naman. So 15 minutes before the time, pwede mo na silang start papasukin. So bago yung nangyayari na yon, is itetest mo na kung okay ba yung audio mo, yung video mo ba playing, ang ating ring light. So, kitang-kita ba tayo? At yung aking virtual background. So, may green screen tayo. Kung yung para presentable na talagang pinaghandaan na kahit na simpleng 1 hour or 30 minutes na pwedeng gamitin rin natin during client meeting is nandun na ibuhos ng todo-todo. Kasi kapag nag-start na, parang 2 o'clock kanina, start na ng show. Di ba sabi ni Kuya, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. So, sino yung unang nagpumasok dito? Yan. So, ina-acknowledge yung lahat na alam ko, kanina nasa National Leaders Assembly pa tayo. Kahapon, sama-sama tayo sa Star Bright Shares. Pero still, nandito pa rin kayo lahat na umattend because you're committed to your growth. Yun. So, may template siya na ginagamit. So, pero ginagamit mo siya, depende sa reality. So, kung ano yung common ninyong lahat, o kaya, ang lakas-lakas ng ulan, possible na di-disconnect kayo, or possible, tinutulungan nyo na sana yung kids nyo ngayon para gumawa ng assignment for their online classes, pero still pinili nyong mag-commit dito ng 2 hours of your time para matuto pa. So, palakpakan naman natin ang bawat isa. So, yun yung acknowledgement. Yung parang ina-acknowledge mo lang na each member of the team or that event or that session is very important na lahat sila they made the right decision na umattend dito. Kaya dahil doon, gusto nilang umattend ulit. Kasi di ba possible talagang challenge na mag-internet, baka nakikonnect pa sa kapitbahay or ngayon naka-mobile data, pero ginawa nila yung best to be present kahit na naka-close video para kaya ng internet. Yun. So, next dyan, di ba, prayer. Nag-pray tayo kanina after magkwento-kwentuhan at tawanan sa main room. So, yun yung gagawin. So, it's either prayer, kukunin sa YouTube University, o kaya magpe-pray on our own, o kaya naman magsa-search ng guided meditation. O, tapos play mo na lang, papapikitin mo lahat, ayun na. So, ang purpose naman ng prayer is to encourage everyone at mapunta yung lahat in one space para kung ano man yung mga iniisip ng iba at magsabay-sabay tayo na simula na to. Yan, so yan. And also to ask support from the higher source kay God or kung sino man yung ating ina-acknowledge or creator na yung kung ano ginagawa natin ngayon, parang shinare ni Miss Nina kahapon, our work is our prayer. And then next, team connection or icebreaker. So depende na sa leader or sa host ng meeting kung ano yung gustong gagawin. Di ba? So parang kanina, yung nangyayari dito sa ating session, nakikita nyo na siya. Di ba? Nag-breakout room. So bakit nag-breakout? So ang purpose nun, team connection. So na-engage yung team virtually through breakout rooms. Pero pag sa labas, so I want to request everyone to please stand up and group yourselves into 3 and sit down na paikot. Yan, nang walang table. Yun. So ang share nyo lang is pwedeng clearing yung pag may bagay na iniisip ka ngayon o hindi ka makapag-focus, ikwento mo lang sa team, tapos diretso ka na sa wins. So yung clearing, for example, kahapon, ang kinlear ko, hindi pa ako tapos sa registration ng Starbright shares, but I'm setting this aside and I'm 100% committed. So yun yung sasabihin. And ang wins ko, yung parang ginawa na natin kanina. So nagpapasalamat ako ngayong araw na nagising kaming healthy and safe. Yun. So yun siya. So ang purpose kasi ng clearing is para ma-let go yung negative energy. Kasi pwedeng dala-dala niya yun all throughout, nasa isip na yun, hindi siya makakapag-focus, hindi rin siya makaka-absorb ng new learning. So doon na natin i-let go sa pag-close circle sila. Hindi kailangan yung isang malakihan para hindi sila mapapahiya. They are safe. So after that, pupunta na tayo sa meeting agenda, which is nagsasalita na ako. Yan. So kung ano yung meeting agenda nyo or gusto nyo learning session or awarding or kahit ano yung main client meeting, yan na yung mangyayari. And then after that, pag na-honor na yung mga speakers, magko-closing prayer ka na or yung host or magpapa-visualization. So I want you to imagine those dreams na kanina naalala mong umaga. I want you to imagine those wins na kinuwento mo for the past 24 hours nang dahil dito, di ba? Ina-acknowledge mo yung small things, kaya pag nagpapatong-patong, it created energy and burning passion to help more people. Yan. So yung parang ganun lang. So practice makes permanent. Yan. So paulit-ulit lang. Kaya inuulit-ulit ko to kasi kahit sa labas, kahit mga session, kahit virtual or hindi, ito lang yung usual na structure na ginagamit namin, which can also make your organization and team scalable. So mas mapapalaki pa. Tapos yung mga team, may empower sila na mag-lead rin ng meeting. Yan. So nag-take time ako doon. So hindi ko tinanggal yung mga picture na na nangyayari bago sa virtual. Kasi para ma-imagine natin, ang hirap imagine kasi ng virtual, puro picture lang ng Zoom, di ba? Yun. So parang yan, yung setup na ganyan, na nakaayos yung mga upuan, 15 chairs, 15 people lang ina-expect namin na dumating, kasama ako. So eksakto. So ganun din yung kapag pag session. So pinag-preparean yung slides, collateral. So itita-translate mo lang virtually. So para ma-engage lang lahat. So may music, yun. Yan. So parang yung ito yung mangyayari sa real life, sa labas. So di ba nag-breakout room tayo, yan, nakaikot-ikot, nakabilog-bilog. So yun lang yung physical setup, pero sa breakout room, yun naman yung virtual setup. Yan. Tapos yung nag-share kanina si Kuya, yun yung nandun ako sa upper right, level up. So nasa unahan, mag-a-acknowledge. So yung sa bottom right, yung meditation. Ang role ko dyan, taga-picture at lightsman. Yan. So alam ko naman kung ano mangyayari. So papikit-pikit. So yung meditation, pwedeng close the video, pwedeng open, depende sa kanila. Pero mag-visualize sila using, it's either ikaw yung magli-lead or the YouTube video. Yan. So yun yung nakatulong sa amin. Kaya may mga ganyan, picture-picture, katulad nyo din. And yung third is to continuously affirm them and encourage to engage. So para mas ma-engage pa sila, gusto nila yung napapansin sila. Lalo na pag mga bago. Kasi pinasama natin siya sa culture. So kaya ko to inuulit-ulit kasi hindi to kaya ng tayo lang as a leader. Hindi kaya ng 3 lang kayo. Kailangan maraming team members ang gumagawa ng paulit-ulit na ito yung culture namin. Nang dahil doon, pag may bago na kayong team members, magpa-flow na lang at susunod na lang kung ano yung meron na existing. It's either they will adapt or they will take them out of the picture na hindi to para sa akin. Yan. So for example, di ba katulad rin ng ginagawa ni Sir Eman tsaka ng other leaders, di ba? Popost lang tayo pag congratulations every month, pag nag-awarding. Yan. So magte-take time tayo para makapag-isip ng madamdaming words to affirm them. So dahil dyan, we're helping the people. Ito si Shai, mag-1 year pa lang sa October, pero laging consistent monthly producer, ganon. Kasi we're yung pag nagpo-posting tayo ng ganyan, we are creating digital assets for the people to market them kahit na bago pa lang. Kasi ang digital world is an equal playing field for everyone kahit bago ka or matagal na. Yan. Tapos yung next, pwedeng di ba yung mga achievement ng Premier Advisor, pwedeng i-post natin sa sarili nating wall, mag-trial and error na lang tayo. Kung saan mas malakas ang likers niya, tsaka comment. Yan. Kay Sir Rowell, mas konti yung pag sa kanya ko pinost, so sa akin ko na lang ipopost para mas maraming likers. So tinest run natin for the past months. Tapos for example, ito yung kay Jerome. So gustong-gusto ko lang nagke-create ng mga ganyan. Ako na nagpo-post. Tapos tingnan nyo, nilalagay ko yung mga congratulations na finally, after several pending requirements including previous medical record, approved na din after more than 3 weeks. So hindi lang ako nagko-congratulate na basta-basta, alam ko kung ano yung status ng per policy nila. So nang dahil doon, di ba parang nai-engage sila lalo sa'yo na ang role lang nila is to look for clients, mag-sales lang sila. So tapos lahat ng mga back office support, ng yung mga pending requirements is tutulungan natin sila. And also yung next, for example, kay Lynette, annual moves. So lalagay ko lang dyan, annual moves pang Premier Advisor. So Premier na siya this September. Yun. So para nakikita nung team na alam ko yung galaw sa behind the scene. Kahit na di ba ina-acknowledge natin sila. Yan. So with the help of our staff, pwedeng i-support ka na lang. Pero for the past months, wala akong staff kasi wala silang internet connection. So ako lahat gagawa. Yan. So tapos we encourage the team na makipagkulitan. Ayan, kahapon meron kaming 7 approved policies yata or 6. So pinost ko na, tapos nagkukulitan na lang sila na umuulan ng save lives ang gagaling. So parang katuwaan. So parang hindi serious doon sa GC. So encourage the team na mag-post din doon sa umpisa. Hindi siya nangyari overnight. Nangyari siya overtime. Tapos ikaw yung nakikipag-unahan. Siyempre mag-gif tayo dyan. Di ba? Nakalimutan ko kung anong cartoon yan eh. Yung congratulations ko. Yan. So, din magpo-post nila power of tapping. Sabi nila. And also, shinare ko rin is yung pagke-create ng mechanics of the game. Pag for example, feeling mo hindi pa engaged yung team members, is create lang kayo ng mga parang ganitong palaro. 25 points for every approved policy, 1 point for every 1,000 FYPI. So, depende kung ano yung gusto mong i-focus na behavior. Next, 50 points per new record na beat your best ng advisor. So, kasi yung last year, siguro 3 or 4 pa lang kami na close, pero the rest close sa akin or close sa nag-recruit, pero hindi sa buong team. So, delikado kapag hindi siya close sa buong team. Kasi pag wala ka or wala yung recruiter, hindi pupunta. So, kailangan maging close niya ang bawat isa. Yan. Sa isa-isa sila. Yan. Tapos yung last year, nagzo-Zoom meetings na rin kami. Natutunan namin sa labas mag-Zoom. So, ang ginawa ko para mas ma-engage pa sila at maging close at magkwentuhan ng personal lives is kasama sa ating palaro at mechanics, yung daily call time Monday to Friday via Zoom, Viber, or Messenger. Magkukwento lang sila ng wins yesterday or today. Tapos isi-send nila yung screenshot sa GC para may proof. So bibigyan ko sila ng 10 points. Sinaga natin pagre-record para maging laro at masaya sila. Tapos may mananalo. So ngayong virtual teams, pwede kayo maglagay na lang na yung the winning team will get yung 1,000 GC. Tapos maghahati na lang kayo doon. Yan. So, depende na sa inyo kung ano yung gusto as of the moment na may pandemic pa. Yan. So, aside from that, so para ma-engage yung team, is pinag-iisipan ko talaga paano gawin yung caption. So katulad rin ng pagpo-post ng mga iba na dito, ayan, so hello team, let's connect, learn, and grow. So una muna mga title. So hinahadal yung team, tapos yung title, yung date, and then after that, ano yung meron doon. Diba? Ano yung meron doon sa pupuntahan ko na yun? Kasi for example, ako, controller ako so gusto ko malaman agad ang bottom line. Anong magiging outcome nito? Anong makukuha ko? Kasi pag hindi, out na ako. Aalis na ako doon sa session. A-attend ako kahit ako mag-isa, pero alam ko kung ano yung makukuha ko. So para ma-sustain yung mga ganong behavior ng people, kailangan nakalagay ng maigi. So yung other behavior, agenda. So kailangan nyo makita yung flow. So magti-team connection tayo, may magto-talk, mag-a-announce. O pag-wording nakalagay dyan, announcement. And then syempre, lahat, di ba people don't know kung ano yung gagawin nila unless we tell them what to do. Kaya may action plan. Please type your names below to confirm your attendance. So kinakopy ko yan, ilalagay ko lang sa caption. And then, ini-encourage ko na yung mga naka-e-learning, na-invite nila. So nilagay ko na dyan, incoming team members are also invited to attend. And syempre gusto ko umattend pa rin sila. So kaya kailangan tayong maging vulnerable. Because vulnerability is a superpower. So nilagay ko dyan, I would appreciate if a lot of us can attend again so that we can exchange energies with one another and support our speaker. Yan. So para alam nila na na talagang kailangan taniman na natin ang utang na loob. Di ba, magpo-post na tayo dyan. Pag may tanong sila, tayo gagawa. Pag may mga problema sa treasury, ako nag-i-email sa amin. So naging kilala na tayo doon, kaka-email on behalf of the team. So ito yung time naman na hingin yung support nila by expressing it ng mas maayos na delivery. Yan. So ang naging result, pag pinost natin sa FB group, i-post rin natin sa GC para wala nang reason na hindi nabasa. Sa FB group pala, nakatag lahat ng team members. So, tapos dyan sa GC, makikita natin sino. So, ang mangyayari, parang ganyan, ikakopy ko lang ulit para copy-paste na lang sila kung a-attend sila. Yan. Tapos, nung natapos na yung session, last Saturday, di syempre, focus tayo sa pakikinig. Kasi ilalagay natin, ano ba yung biggest learning natin dun sa ginawa ng pinili mong speaker. Kasi I'm encouraging everyone to become the leader of their own selves. So yan. So kailangan meron munang mukhang tao na caption, hindi muna serious. So kaya meron tayong, hooray! Nawalan man ng kuryente, wifi at lumakas ang ulan, go, go, go pa din. Yan. Kasi yung speaker natin nawalan ng kuryente, di ba ready na? Yon. So naka-mobile data. Yon. Pero nung nag-start na mag-talk, ako na. Nung nag-start na siya mag-talk, nagkaroon na ng kuryente. Yan. Tapos lalagay mo lang ulit yung yung biggest learning mo na parang kahit na leader ka niya, nakinig ka rin. And then lagyan na ng action plan. Here in our team, part of our culture, so ikwento mo anong meron kayo. Tapos if you see yourself doing what we're doing or you also want this kind of culture, feel free to send us a message to join our team. Yan. So, pinapanood din ng mga teammates natin kung paano mo ginagawa, kokopihin lang din nila. Sometimes, ka-copy-paste na nga lang nila yung gusto nila dyan. Tapos, ang naging effect, di syempre, i-share din nung person na in-invite mo sa team na mag-share, March lang siya na license, so yung advisor. So, pangarap niya palang, mag-speaker. So, naging dream come true. So, whatever man yung ginawa namin nung Sabado is, specific incident for her, na pwede ako makapag-practice dito. Tapos ulit-ulitin ko na. Yan. So, i-share niya. So, namamarket pa yung post ko. Shinare niya lang yung post ko dyan. So, yun yung nangyayari dito na mas nag-engage sila if they feel good being with you and the team. Yan. So, nagiging engage. So, share lang din. So, and syempre, magsisimula kung tayo ganun din. And yung re-evaluate team culture. So, kung ano naman yung meron tayo ngayon, mag-re-evaluate natin kung ano yung magwo-work for us. So, yun, hindi ko na madidiscuss lahat nito. Nandiyan na rin ang next speaker. Isa tutunan ko lang to is, relationship creates the culture. So, yun yung relationship, yung foundation. Kaya make team connection. Kaya sa mga Zoom meeting, nagkukwentuhan. Ito yung wins ko for the personal life. Para pag nakita mo naman yung mga kasamahan natin dito, kilala mo siya, hindi lang sa numbers niya, hindi lang sa achievements. Kasi yung mga achievements napapasok. For example, ako, ang dami ko ng award since nung kids. So parang yung excitement, hindi na kasing excited compared yung personal life na kilala mo siya dahil hindi yun nakapublished. Basta-basta. Yun. So yun. So yun yung umpisa na kapag good yung responsive yung relationship, tapos yung energy, yun yung state is resourceful, and commitment is doing whatever it takes or no ifs, no buts, nakakapag-create ng unreasonable performance and makakapag-create ng extraordinary result. Yan. So mas malalim pa yan pero next time na lang, dadagdagan natin. Kasi ito lang naman yung culture namin, kinopya lang namin sa Till Organization. So paano yan mangyayari? In-explain ko sa kanila, ito yung magiging culture natin today, sabi ko last year. So I expect everyone to become the leader of your own selves. So yung dito itatrain namin kayo maging speaker at mag-host ng meeting so that kapag may sarili na kayong team, kaya mo nang gawin using yung structure na to. Yun. Tapos yung wholeness, you can be real kung malungkot ka o kaya nasasaktan ka or may problema ako ngayon. So kaya natin nire-release sa clearing. Yung parang sa structure kanina. So kahit babae, lalaki, kung naiiyak or na-hurt, ito yung time and space or group of people na pwede mong pagkwentuhan. Lalo na kung padre de pamilya ka, hindi mo ma-share sa wife mo or sa other family members kasi baka ma-down sila. Dito mo i-share para ma-let go mo siya for the meantime hanggang ma-solve mo. Tapos yung evolutionary purpose, yun nga yung walang specific na purpose. Everyone, it can make decision of our own, can give feedback para mas mapagsama-sama natin, maka-move forward tayo. Hindi lang ako yung magaling. Dahil hindi talaga. Yan, nauna lang ako, nakaposition lang ako na unit manager. Pero katulad dito sa next gen, iba-iba tayo ng skills na pwedeng pagsama-samahin to create better results. So yun dito lang, minimit ko lang yung leaders. Nung nagpalaro ako, last year yung nag-start kasi ang purpose ma-engage yung team. Diba yung versus team LL. So imimit ko yung team leaders. Kasi ikukwento mo, bakit gusto mong matrain sila, bakit mo gagawin. Diba sometimes gusto mo magpalaro, pero hindi nila maiintindihan. Hindi sila mai-engage sa team's vision and mission, sa team's MTP, pag hindi natin na-explain ng layman's term. Yun, mas madali lang intindihin. Yan. Tapos sabi ko pag naging leader kayo, pipili kayo ng team members nyo na awardan nyo ng leadership awardee. So ang reason nun, because leadership without a title. Hindi mo talaga kailangan na ma-promote ka pa na UM para masabing leader ka. Kasi di ba leader na sila at their own rights sa family nila, sa work, ganun. Tapos yan, so parang kapag okay na lahat, tapos kailangan mag-lead ng team, is kukwento mo, isusupport mo sila behind the scene, or i-encourage sila na ikaw naman yung magsalita. So ngayon naman, pag virtually, spotlight. O yan. So ngayon naman, Sir Eman, spotlight kita. So for the reason para lahat nakafocus sa'yo because you deserve attention for everything na ginawa mo today, nag-prepare ka, first time mo mag-talk, you're so courageous na gawin ito. Yan. So ito yung physical setup, pero pag virtual, so parang ginagawa ko ngayon, nag-speak. Tapos, pag natapos yan, i-affirm. Yung parang ginagawa na natin dito sa AIA Next Gen Leaders. I honor you for the greatness I see in you is, and you inspire me because. So using lang yung mga phrase na ganon to affirm and honor the person na nag-prepare for this. Yan. So tapos, every session, mag-iisip ka lang ng mga pakulo, yung team connection, pwedeng same pa din, or magpapalaro ka, magkahoot or bingo or whatsoever para maging connected sila. Kasi ang purpose, happy ang team because happiness is the new productivity. So yun yung kailangan natin ma-maintain, lalo na ngayon pandemic. Yan. So pikit-pikit sa classroom session, pero dito sa virtual session, pwede mo nang sabihin sa lahat na may request everyone to please close your eyes and listen to my voice or listen to this music, and I want you to imagine yung mga pinasabi dito sa YouTube video na to. O yun, so kahit na hindi pa natin alam yung mga script, pakinggan lang yung video. Tapos yung ngayon, so kung dati may ganon, ay yun, may magtotalk, ngayon inilipat lang virtually, is either sila yung kay-create ng collateral nila, like yung nasa kaliwa, yung nasa kanan, kay Lynette, ako na lang gumawa, through Canva. So mas magaling pa sa akin si Gold gumawa. So thanks to Canva. Ayan, so bago si Gold, for example, magkaroon ng paid seminar sa labas, nagpa-practice siya sa amin. So para alam niya na worth it or worthwhile na yung cost na ilalagay doon or yung value na bibigay niya sa inyong lahat. So yun, i-encourage yung lahat na mag-practice para pag naging speaker na sila, mas mataas na yung confidence nila, tapos makita nila yung next level na agad ng presentation. Yan. So parang gaya, umiikot kahit sino. Yan. So ako namimili kung patanggapin nila yung request. Yan. So yan din naman dito, stock market. Hindi ako magaling dyan. So Sister Rowell na lang gagawa sa atin. Yan. So ito yung bago namin na na parang kanina shinare sa wins. Yung ngayon namin na in-start. Di ba marami na tayong umattend ng Magic Spill ni Gold. So kami, season 2 na kami sa $1 Million Habit. So nung August, tapos na. So nag-start nung Monday. Happy kami. So dahil marunong kami pareho ng structure, na may meeting structure kami, siya ang leader ng morning session, ako sa afternoon session. So dumami na yung akin kasi marami nang naka-work from home at yung shift nila naging morning na. So after ng 5 p.m., possible nagwo-work, titigil muna sila sa work. Tapos sa akin na muna yung attention nila. Kaya kailangan may meditation. Kaya kailangan meron yung sharing of wins. Kasi burnout na yan sa pag-work from home ng ilang buwan na. Tapos hindi pa tapos. Yan. So ang purpose lang yan, sabay-sabay na yun nga, mag-acknowledge ka, mag-clearing, magti-team connection and wins, mag-meditate na rin kayo noon, tapos saka tayo sabay-sabay mag-approach. Tapos magko-closing. So same structure lang naman. Yan. And then last, syempre, mag-enjoy. So mahirap ilagay kung paano mag-enjoy dito sa virtual room, sa Zoom. So parang mga ganito na lang pag sa labas. Yan, maglalaro kami ng bowling or nag-badminton bago mag-awarding. So yung team meeting nakalaro. Yan. So para iba naman. O kaya naman yung session, mag-create ng vision board para hindi lagi puro Philam Life. Ang dami ng training ni Philam Life eh. So, i-capitalize na natin yung kay Philam Life. Yung mga other things na lang na hindi tinuturo, yun yung i-complement natin. So, o kaya naman pag sa agency natin, meron ng training na tinuturo, papuntahin na lang natin yung mga agents natin doon to support the agency. Tapos i-fill na lang natin yung gap kung ano yung sa tingin natin na makakatulong pa. Tapos yung mga rewards dati, mag-wall climbing kami or archery. Para close. Kasi, di ba yun, doon mo sila mas nakikilala sa mga bagay-bagay na hindi sa work. Yan. So, hindi ako magaling magpaganyan-ganyan. Mag-yoga-yoga kami. So, si Gold na lang ang leader nung kami, kick-off. Pero nagka-pandemic. So, pero yan ang ating ginawa. Tapos ako na naka-assign sa aming planning for 2020. Tapos sa gabi, nag-awarding lang tayo. So, overnight kami. Yan. So, yan na lang ngayon yung picture taking. So, mahirap ilagay sa video. Kaya, yon, hopefully, magawa natin siya. So, kung ilalagay ko siya, to summarize is, I stands for Inspire the Team with your MTP. C, create a meeting structure. A, affirm them and encourage to engage. R, evaluate team culture. And letter E, of course, enjoy. At pagsasamahin natin yan, I care. So, can everyone type nga dyan sa chat box and say, I care? Yan, so please type. Kasi nga, if I care, you care, and we care, maganon yung magiging result because people don't care how much you know until they feel how much you care. So it's not enough na alam lang nila that we care. So ang pinaka-reason para maging ma-activate sila, ma-engage is maramdaman nila na hindi lang pera or target or benta ang tingin natin sa kanila as their leader. But kundi I feel na kung ano man yung napagdadaanan nila ngayon is nararamdaman natin. And then, yun lamang. So sana nakapag-share ako ng bagay na makakatulong din sa inyo at makakatulong para ma-reach natin yung goals natin this 2020. So maraming salamat and hashtag no one left behind.